Hey guys, Tarke here, and I want to give you a quick update on my Turmoil progress. I will quickly give you an overview of where I'm at right now, and then I'll jump into some map footage for you to look at, so there will be map footage, don't worry. I'm currently level 91 with a lot of effective EHP. Yes, I'm hybrid, by the way, and killing it with rank 1 Occultist. Feels amazing, man. I've had a little bit of a jumping competition, but you can see we're currently chilling rank 1 Occultist, rank 38 overall, and I've just come back from a pretty long map, so feels good, man. I'll talk about slash played in hours in a little bit. I did rip once on day 1, and I just want to show this rip because this rip was mildly salty, and I'm known to be a very calm and calculated gamer, but I was rank 1 Occultist at day 1, pretty early into the leveling process. This happened, and I got slightly tilted. This was completely my fault, though, to be fair. You shall be replaced. Seems fine. Oof. Fucking cunt, whore, fuck, wank, cunt, fuck, whore, cunt, fuck. I was pressing fucking panicked and fucking cunt, fuck. Oh. Rip monetization. But yeah, basically what happened there was I was tired, I was being a bit silly, and I'd spent from all of Act 5, like the start of Act 5 to Act 6, trying to roll a seething pot. Wasn't getting anything, I was having to make do with panicked tallows, and I just kind of like fat-fingered, got stunlocked. I could have logged and been fine, but I thought, it's fine, I've got a panic. I'll bounce back up, and boom. The reason why I showed you that clip is that one rip nearly cost me the rank 1 demi overall, because that started a chain of events. So get ready, this is going to be a love story more epic than Twilight. So I've had a few main competitions throughout this race so far, and we're currently like day 3 in. Now my main competition to start was Turmoil Jormaz. Now I was rank 1 at the time of dying, and then I had to reroll, and this guy had solid rank 1 until he ripped. I was always a few levels behind of him. But the real thing which happened is me and Kane died 3 times on day 1. I died once on day 1. Because of that, our schedule became completely out of whack. My build is a terrible leveling build, and I was reliant on Kane to carry me through the early leveling. But the real thing which happened, which screwed me over, was Crush. Now, Crush is an MVP. You should go check him out. He streams Sir Crushington. Crush was playing with Rolo as his support. Then he died after me and Kane's schedule fell out of whack, meaning that Kane fell into that group. And then for 2.5 days, I had no carry. Crush, the cheeky bugger, rerolled onto Occultist. And then when I wasn't playing, my carry was carrying my main competition. And we've had very good memes between the two of us, but he sadly, not that sadly, died to bears while I was sleeping, while he was trying to catch up to me. So, feels good, man, all around, all around, all around. Very briefly, before I go into map footage stuff, I just want to show you something kind of cool and also check out PB Racing. So, I haven't actually played that much. I've only played for 1 day, 12 hours, and 29 minutes. And if we look, we can see we're currently on the Tuesday. And this started at 8 PM on Friday for me. So 8 PM Saturday, 8 PM Sunday, 8 PM Monday. So we've been playing for like 3 days and X many hours. We've only played 1 hour 12 because I'm trying to keep my health alive and very healthy. And I'm pretty proud of my rank overall considering that. You can see the current rank 2 is played for 2 days and 3 hours. Favorite build is 2 hours. 1 hours on Sheepy, 1 hour's 21, 2 days, 1 hour, 1 day 12. Basically, my point being is I'm doing very well on ladder with substantially less slash played than everyone else who I'm competing with. But now let's show you some map footage in the background. So let's minimize that, put that over there, press Bob. Ta-da! You can't see me, but that sort of works, right? Easy. Saved. Right, sorry about that. So, let's get into where I'm currently at, character-wise. I haven't done my Uber Lab, although I have done all of my trials, and I'll probably do my Uber Lab at the start of this current session. You can see my full map setup when I'm rocking the group. It is a bit of a visual overload. Now, my main build functions around 2 setups. A Blade Vortex, which I keep at 1 stack to apply a decay. A Abyssal Cry to proc mobby mobs. And then a Blight. And then I have a Wither Totem, and then I do also have a Var Lightning Trap, Var Discipline, and obviously Shield Charge, Shield Charge, Shield Charge. I have had the worst luck EU when it comes to this chest. I bought this chest day 1 for 8C, and it is the best hybrid chest on the server, and was the best ES chest for a very long time. I think there's now 1 or 2 slightly better, at least that have been listed on PB Trade. However, I've been trying to link this chest since day 1, and it refuses to get more than a 4 link. So because of that, my 2 main DPS setups are, well, Allopathy is technically on a 5 link because of the Blight gloves, but my Decay setup is stuck on a 4 link in a Gull, and that is Efficacy, Void Manipulation, Decay, and then Blade Vortex. I keep the Blade Vortex at level 10 because it keeps the mana cost low, and level 10 it gets +2 radius, and it doesn't get 1 additional radius until a deck threshold, which is higher than I currently can achieve with my current gear setup. But eventually I'll get enough excellent gear that I can then have a level 20 Blade Vortex, which gives me an additional +2 flat radius. When I get a 5 link for solo play, I can go for Swift Affliction for more DPS, but I'll most likely just go for increased AoE, which will then put the range out to about here. And again, as you're mapping around, you just press Blade Vortex once, and it applies Decay, which is a massive degen to everything. That's enough to kill most white mobs, and then for anything which I know that needs DPS down, we then just throw in a little Blight on top. Feels goody goody 2 shoes. I alternate between using the Aldin Claw, yes, this is really nutty, and Brightbeak. For group play, I use Brightbeak, and for any weakness cap, I use Brightbeak because nice resists. When I'm playing solo, or when, well, I only use the LD Claw when playing solo, and when I don't need any weakness when playing solo. The reason why I use that is it triggers level 1 Abyssal Cry on hit. It does respect the Abyssal Cry cooldown, it doesn't cheat the cooldown, but every time I shield charge into a pack, it automatically Abyssal Cries for me. Now, this makes my life a lot easier, and also it means that I can have a 4 link Abyssal Cry rather than a 3 link, and it means that I can slot in a Onslaught, meaning I have perma Onslaught uptime. Now, because this is obviously substantially slower, shield charge wise, than a Brightbeak, it does come with a opportunity cost, but I think it's well worth it, and I think that this claw alone beats out Dual Obliteration hands down for anyone who's been following the Rise QT approach. This is substantially better in my opinion because it guarantees Abyssal Cry on every single pack. It lets you use a shield. Shield's a very good defense. It's just really good, and also carried me on my reroll leveling. This is really, really good leveling. Right. Other important gear slots, as you saw earlier, was the Gull. I managed to get a Gull bro deal to me off someone from chat. He paid 2k Perendus coins for it. I then just emptied my stash on him. I gave him 1k coins, 10c, a bunch of jewelers, some alks, and just like, I basically just threw everything I had on him. But the Gull is really OP. If you see in the footage, every now and again I pick up little shrines. Whenever myself or Kane, because Kane also runs a Gull, kills a mob, there's a chance that a shrine drops. These shrines are huge, and because I'm hybrid, I benefit from every single shrine that drops. So the massive shrine gives you a massive chunk of flat HP and increased AoE. This makes my EHP go skyrocket. I gain like 1k flat health, and then it makes my AoE better. That's nice. There's one which gives you max res and all resistance. Obviously very nice. Acceleration makes your build just move faster, cast faster, attack faster. Obviously really solid. Increased flat energy shield. The only like weak one for me is the crit shrine, how that also gives me knockback, which is very nice defense, because my Blade Vortex is always just pushing mobs away from me, and there's also one which gives you massive regen. As for the rest of my gear, I'm using this ring. I picked this up yesterday. This is a really nutty resist ring. No one has Area on level 7 yet, so I can't remove the life roll to put on an ES roll, and I will eventually transition to CI, probably at the end of today or tomorrow. But yeah, this is just great for resists. Dream Frags. I made a point of buying Dream Frags as my first item at like level 20. I set up a whoop-de-whoop. The reason being is we cannot be killed, chilled. Cannot be killed would be nice. Cannot be chilled, cannot be frozen. A load of resists and mana regen, meaning I can never go with my current mana setup. And this also meant that for the entire leveling process, I didn't need to worry about rolling cannot be frozen on flasks. Really nice. I paid a couple of C for it. That's just a pro tip for start of league for anyone going forward. I'm using this amulet. It's okay. It's nothing that special, but it has some life. It has some energy shield. It has some resists. And it also has dexterity on that, and I'm very dexterity starved. As I previously mentioned, I need just the right amount for my support gems. This is my current shield. I'm pretty happy with it. It needs to be blessed up. I have no bless at the moment, but it's got 200 energy shield, which is a lot now. Decent life roll and some resists. Pretty solid. And then obviously allelopathy gloves. These give me a level 22 blight skill, increased damage over time, some increased AoE, increased hinder duration. I cannot be hindered. And then some energy shield. I bought the first crystal belt, which went for sale. I threw like 20 just raw chaos into it, and then I just stuck on this because it was decent. I've left an open craft on it since I'm currently okay with resists, and when I do my transition, I want to have some flexibility on gear and stuff. Also, I think I didn't have a level tutor at the time. But yeah, so it's got a bunch of energy shield, life, and some resist on there. Also, reduced flask charges used, but sadly not enough to give me an extra flask usage as of yet. And then I've recently swapped into Steppen Ard. Now, Steppen Ard is actually a pretty nice pair of boots. They give a good amount of flat energy shield, they give you 30% movement speed, but most importantly, they give me unaffected by desecrated ground. And again, I am a hybrid build. This means that I can walk through desecrated ground and it doesn't absolutely destroy my health. I am stacking life regen and keeping it on life to combat stuff like that. And I'm also using Pantheon upgraded Soul of Abarath, which gives me unaffected by burning ground. Now, this is actually huge quality of life for a hybrid build. Burning ground and desecrated ground do not screw up my ES recharge, and I also get a bunch of increased movement speed and reduced fire damage taken, which is also kind of nice. And then I also benefit from 20% increased movement speed on shocked ground, increased damage on burning ground, and life regen per second on chilled ground. I'm also immune to chilled ground. So basically, these boots, burning ground, and dream frags, the only spoopy thing is shocked ground, and that gives me movement speed. And when I do a CI transition, I'll be shock immune all the time because I'll have a bunch of utility flasks with loads of open fluff on it. I'm currently running a ample Quicksilver of Adrenaline. Basically, it has a bunch of movement speed. Movement speed is good. I'm running a Curse Immune Amethyst, just to be a little bit safer against Chaos damage, because Chaos damage does bypass my ES. I currently have -40, but when I have this up, I have -5, and I'm completely and utterly safe. Well, I say that until I die to it. I am then running an increased effect bleed removal basalt, and then 2 life pots. I know I could be using just 1 life pot, but so far I'm crushing ladder, or at least for the Occultist ladder, and I'm being very safe with, how much EHP is that? Well, 11.5k, and 2 life pots have been good, so I don't want to drop these until I do my CI transition. I'm running poison removal on 1, just because if I get poisoned, that... 1 second. If I get poisoned, not only does that screw up my ES recharge, but also it drains my life, so poison removal is very important. And then I'm also running a secondary bleed removal just to be safe. And one of the things which is important to note when it comes to playing hybrid and stuff, hybrid's actually really, really solid. And when in conjunction with Wicked Ward and Val Bastion, Energy Shield recharge is not interrupted by damage if recharge has begun recently. So the second as my ES recharge starts, I can then like face tank really hard. It's really good defense. You can also combo this with a Val Discipline, which has the same kind of effects. So you can like start your ES recharge at will. So if I'm at a boss, for example, I can just press this. Face tank seems good. I would like increased duration in my links, but I currently can't fit it in. And then I was using Profane Bloom, but I actually spec'd out of Profane Bloom because I was using Abyssal Cry for my map clear, just to make sure I had extra defense, be safe, have Val Bastion, stun immune while on full ES, and 0.5% of energy shield recharge per second for each enemy I've killed recently. This stacks with everything else, making me very, very tanky. Briefly to go over the passive skill tree. I just want to say this cluster, I've spec'd in and out of this cluster like 50 times. I would genuinely say I've spent over 30 regrets spec'ing in and out of this cluster. I started while leveling, going through spell damage. I then respec that into ES, and then I hard pushed right. So I went up through here, got this life, pushed across, picked up this wheel, picked up atrophy, then came through and picked up growth and decay. I went through the damage, but now I'm stacking life regen just so that when I do ever take some degen, and also important thing to note, Stepanard makes you immune to desecrated ground, not chaos clouds left by zombies. So those can get you if you're not paying attention. Dune's boss, for example. So that's why I'm stacking a bunch of life regen still, just to give me some resistance against that. Come down through here, come across, blah, blah, blah. Pick up all this good stuff. My jewels, I have a increased damage, mana regen, max ES, all res. Here we have maximum energy shield, recharge rate, attack and cast speed. Here we have damage, max energy shield recharge, and then some flat mana gain for each enemy hit by your attacks. When I shield charge, I get a little burst of ES, which is okay. And then we're dual wielding 2 blight jewels. So yeah, basically that is the character as of so far. Seems pretty good. I'll leave a paste bit and everything down below. And then I also want to just show off a few items that I've collected, which I'll be using when I do my CI transition. Just move them up in the inventory so you can see them. So this was my old shield that I was using to my current one. It was very nice in the fact that it gave a load of armor. It didn't have very much life on it, sadly, and it did have pretty good resists. But this current shield has more energy shield, ever so slightly, and it has more life on it, so I'm using it over the Archon. These were my old boots before I equipped the Stepanard. Int, a little bit of life, solid resists, good energy shield, 30% movement speed. The fact that I got these days one is actually pretty crazy considering. This is a Hubris circlet that I bought for a couple of chaos for my CI transition. Has a bunch of energy shield and has some resists, really solid. This was my Elrion ring, which I was using to start for quite a long time. I went through like 5 Elrion rings, just Org, Regaling. I got trolled pretty hard with this, with the +2 energy shield Regal, so just kind of wanted to show that off. This could have potentially been a really nice ring. This is a Ami that I ID'd yesterday, and it could actually be a really nice DPS ring, since it has the stats on it I need. It has spell damage, it has cast speed, it has percent energy shield and resists. But I currently can't make it work with my current resists. But if I go CI transition and choose not to use a Chayula Ami, this could be really solid just for raw DPS. Syntrek are very good budget boots for any CI build and will be the boots I use when I transition to CI. They give you Dex, Int, and then up to 160 energy shield. They are pure evasion boots, but they have the mod plus 160 energy shield on them. So I think it's like 120 to 160. These are crazy. You can pick them up for a couple of chaos. And then this was the old Aldi Claw. So yeah, basically Tarke is a happy man. And also briefly for my links, Discipline, Articaba, and then we run a Blasphemy Temporal Chains. I'm leveling up a bunch of gems, so I need to quality recipe them and do some YOLO varling. However, when I'm playing in my group, I don't actually run the temp chains. I get a little bit of extra mana since we are playing with a Pentacurse champion. And his cast effect is better than mine, and that's also why dropping Profane Bloom wasn't that big of a deal for group play, but obviously it's pretty huge for solo play. Then we have Void Manip, Efficacy, Control Destruction, increased AoE in the gloves, Casting Damage taken, Immortal Call, Spell Totem, Wither, Shield Charge, Fortify, faster attacks. We've gone through the Blade Vortex setup, and then Void Manip, Abyssal Cry, increased AoE, and then when I'm using the Aldi Claw, we then also get Onslaught on there as well. But yes, I'm Tarke. This video is going to take a long time to render. Have a good day. Please still rank 1 on the next video. Bye-bye.